The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment and contains views, opinions, commentaries, and content that may offend some subscribers of this show. Listener discretion is advised.
It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clarke.
You beat the man! You gotta beat the man! Whoa!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729288. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729288. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the World Heavyweight Champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us hewwrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clarke.
The champ is here.
Streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. HEW Entertainment Radio is inviting you to comment on our video blogs, join the conversation, and like us. So what are you waiting for? Log on and listen now. Don't miss out on any of the action. Download our app on the App Store, Google Play, and the official website of HEW Entertainment. Once you download and install it, you'll get caught up on news, YouTube videos, and more. Download it now.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
You would think after hearing of news of Roman Reigns being gone from WWE because of a suspension for over 30 days after he failed the drug test would come as a shock to me after having been a wrestling fan all of my life, but it really doesn't, because this occurrence of people failing drug tests in professional wrestling seems to really become an everyday thing, especially within this new generation we've kind of come into. And after having been deemed the man, obviously there was a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Roman Reigns, and this is why WWE handled the suspension the way that they did. Obviously, he was very upset with the fans. On the last night we saw Roman Reigns, we can confirm for you that he will be appearing at the Battleground pay-per-view in a match with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. But one thing that I'm expecting to see in this match is obviously either Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins being the one who's put over as the winner of the match more so than Reigns, because a lot of people have these theories, which I condone, of how they believe that Reigns will be put on the back burner because of how he failed the drug test a number of days ago. And I don't really, think that WWE are at fault here. I think they handled the situation very professionally. They obviously didn't want a guy who was a failure of a drug test to be the spokesperson and the man of WWE. And also you really have to think about how people who have been given the opportunity to kind of come in and dominate and been given the microphone and the opportunity to drop promos, you have to think on how every one of them who started talking, their careers kind of just fell to the bottom. I think that they fell to the bottom of the ladder after they were given the opportunity to talk. Names like Goldberg, Rusev, is one of the biggest examples I can use for you. Rusev came in for a number of months. He was winning match after match. He went a number of months being undefeated. And then all of a sudden he starts losing matches after he was put on the microphone. It's just these wrestlers who don't have the talent to talk, as much of the talent as they do to wrestle, are just put on the bottom of the ladder. And Reigns was one of those guys, unfortunately, who just started talking in these promos. Obviously, as champion, they were required to drop a promo, comment on an upcoming title defense, do commentary. And Reigns was just one of these guys who just wasn't getting it done. You know, my theory on Reigns is you have all these incredible talents in WWE like the New Day who are extremely difficult to beat, extremely entertaining, especially as heels and fan favorites. No matter if you have a heel New Day member or a fan favorite New Day member, they are always entertaining. And here's the thing, too. You have more characters than that, names that I could go on and on about. And the best that you had to have on top of WWE deemed the man is Roman Reigns. There is no way in hell every single wrestling fan, only the people who have said that they are a fan of Roman Reigns, is into Roman Reigns and what Roman Reigns is about. That's why I apologize for my comments on Reigns this week, because I think WWE are not at fault here. I think they definitely handled the situation very professionally, as they have numerous times over the years, because we've seen so many unprofessional wrestlers who were on top of the WWE suffer the same fate, if not worse. And I think that we have not seen the last of Reigns because of this. And what I'm really thinking about, and what we all have to think about as wrestling fans, is this really as big of a loss as what WWE are putting it over for having been? I think that, you obviously have to go back and rewrite storylines, but obviously with having to go back and rewrite storylines, an opportunity is presented because now more wrestlers than ever before have the chance to reach up and grab the proverbial brass ring. Names like Dean Ambrose, obviously Seth Rollins, and they can obviously rewrite into the storyline how either Dean Ambrose's reign as champion, his inaugural reign, will continue, or Seth Rollins will go through with the triumphant return kind of gimmick that he was portraying ever since the Extreme Rules pay-per-view when he came back and first attacked Reigns. Obviously, nobody had planned for this suspension to happen for Reigns, but I think this should be looked at as an opportunity, not just for names like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins to really leave a mark on professional wrestling, but names like Sin Cara, names like the New Day, obviously have a chance now to become even more popular than they were prior to something like this happening for Reigns. But this is really, like I said, an everyday occurrence happening in professional wrestling, and I don't think that anyone really is at fault here. I just think the situation was handled as professionally as it could have been handled, period. And I think that, everybody shouldn't be drawing conclusions about how this is going to happen or that's going to happen, because at the end of the day, who really knows what's going to happen? Obviously, we haven't seen the last of Roman Reigns, but I think that there are a lot of mixed opinions about this kind of situation. Everybody is drawing their own conclusion, which is really what's to be expected, and everybody expects everyone who writes a column or everybody who hosts a video blog on YouTube or a radio show to comment on it. But I think that obviously far more serious issues have been handled within professional wrestling we've had to deal with, and this is not one of the biggest issues, but this is one of the biggest headlines on professional wrestling news sites because he was the champion when he suffered the suspension, and he goes into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Everybody thought he was going to come out of it retaining the championship, and then all of a sudden Seth Rollins defeats him, has a 1-second reign as champion, and here comes Dean Ambrose. This is what I mean about having to go back and rewrite everything, and a lot of people feel because of how Dean Ambrose won the championship. That was because of how Roman Reigns, they knew they were going to be suspending Roman Reigns, and they had to do something really quickly to make up for the time they were going to be losing while Reigns was put on the back burner, which is why I go back to my theory on how Reigns will not be one of the three individuals who wins the match if there is a new champion crowned. And obviously it will be Seth Rollins, or Dean Ambrose will retain the championship. That's one of the two ways that this one will go. Don't expect Reigns to come away from this one being rewarded. And this is a guy really who, you shouldn't have been so surprised of hearing this about, because of the pressure that went with him of being a champion who obviously wasn't over more than what Daniel Bryan was over, because arguably Daniel Bryan, without a doubt, even though it's being argued, was the biggest star that's been produced in the last 10 through 15 years. He wasn't obviously as over as what Daniel Bryan was. He's obviously not as over as what the New Day are. Like I said, you can put the New Day in as a substitution for Reigns in the main event for Battleground or SummerSlam, and they would be more entertaining, and more people will be going away from the main event talking about the New Day than ever would go away from it talking about Roman Reigns. I know the fans of Roman Reigns do exist out there, but the number of Seth Rollins fans and the number of Dean Ambrose fans, Brock Lesnar fans, and Triple H fans obviously significantly outnumber that of a Roman Reigns or that of a Dean Ambrose, or that of a Seth Rollins or whatever. Obviously, it's something that's very apparent. So there's something that I think that shouldn't be as such a shock to wrestling fans as what it really is. I just think because of the novelty of this story being published on professional wrestling news websites, that's why so many people are talking about it, contemplating what the future has in store for professional wrestling, when at the end of the day, nobody really knows what the future has in store for professional wrestling. I just think there's a lot of speculation. There are a lot of theories about this sort of thing, and it's just, like I said, an everyday occurrence. If it didn't happen to Roman Reigns, and